What's up guys, it's Marcus Vos here, back with another tutorial, and today we're going to learn about sound selection. Sound selection is very important when it comes to making your beats. So if you don't got the right sounds, it's not going to sound right, honestly. And honestly, when it comes to sound selection, it comes also down to VSTs. And a lot of VSTs people use have the right sounds for what sounds they really need to go for. One of the biggest VSTs everybody knows is Omnisphere, and it has a whole bunch of sounds and a whole bunch of sound sources. People have like packs where it's like basically everybody's go-to thing. So basically, Omnisphere, you can find any kind of sound you want. If you want like mellow sounds, harsh sounds, synth sounds, bass, everything, Omnisphere is the GOAT, and that got to be your go-to for most of the time. Most of the time, go-to. A lot of like mainstream hip-hop, a lot of mainstream sounds, you're hearing a lot of sounds out of Omnisphere. Like I said, honestly, I want to show you one of the sounds that is very used. Hold on, let me see, I just type it in. This sound, is it this sound? Is it the In Memoriam 1 or In Memoriam 2? So you probably heard that sound in a lot of music in the past year. This sound is it's a very good sound, but you know, it's all about sound selection. For terms of genres, I mean, you're nowadays hearing a lot of the hip hop stuff blend into a lot of the pop stuff and using all the trap drums. Like I know, like for recent, like I've been listening to Ariana Grande's kind of new albums recently. I'm hearing a lot of a lot of the trap and the pop kind of come together, and the albums are kind of sounding more trappy and more mainstream to appeal to like a wider audience. Because you know, hip hop is the most consumed music today. So basically, if you're not making hip hop, then what are you doing? Honestly. Another thing is for sound selection is also if you know how to make your own sounds. Omnisphere, you can actually make your own sounds, but I don't really make my own sounds in Omnisphere. But you can do that if you know like how to sound design essentially, and what sounds are used, basically what waveforms are used for certain sounds. Like if you want to go for like a mellow sound, you want to use like a sawtooth waveform, because that's like very sharp. But I mean, you could also use it and just filter out the high ends of it, and basically it's up to you and how you mold the sound. But if you want like a mellow sound, you probably go for like a more of a sine wave because it's more smoother. Anything if you want like harsh sounds, you go for like anything like a sawtooth, or like maybe I forgot the other one, or like a triangle wave. Like plugins like Serum give you like the flexibility to actually make your own sound and use different synth waves. What else? Serum does that. Electro X does that also. You could have different synths in here and make your own synth waves and stuff like that. Omnisphere, you could do it. Another thing about sound selection is also you want to have like the artillery collection, because these are like older digital keyboards, all the keyboard synths essentially, to give you that analog feel that was like earlier in the 90s hip hop and 90s R&B. Also, if you want to give it like has like this warmer feel to it with these keyboards. Another one is like the Mini V3, the DX7, the Jupiter, all of that stuff. Also, you can't forget about, for sound selection, you can't forget about like real live instrumentation for sound selection, because at the end of the day, music has a vibration to it, and essentially you would need real instruments who give us like sound waves that are like essential for like people to feel the music. You can use Trillium for basses. Omnisphere has a whole bunch of pianos in it. You can get Keyscape for Omnisphere. You can also go to Contact and get some like Contact libraries for real sounding stuff. Guitars are in nowadays. You can use guitars for like most acoustic, most beats now, like for like Little Baby and Gunna use like acoustic guitars, so you get acoustic guitar loop and use that. Sound selection honestly boils down to what you like, what kind of track you want to make, what kind of vibe you're going for, because essentially Music, I mean, for me, in my opinion, music is just a vibe that you feel out, because you can use different sounds and come up with a different and new vibe or anything, but it's like it comes down to like what kind of sound you want to achieve, and like what, how you kind of molding the actual song into. Like if you want like a something more mellow and stuff, you want to go for like sounds that are not too harsh, sounds that are more like, maybe let me see, pull up an EQ. My sounds are more in the mid-range for mellow and like more filtered. If you think of like songs like some like Drake's like 5 a.m. to Toronto, there's a little more mellow and smoother, because most of his music is in like the mid-range. Like, it's not a lot of highs, a lot of like high frequencies in a song, because the high frequency is like it's like perception. Like you perceive like the high frequencies is like more energy, and it's more higher and more like a higher pitch. Well, you know, you think of songs that are more mellow, like Drake's Marvin's Room. It's not, there's not a lot of highs and there's a lot of mids and stuff, and like a lot, it's very mellow. You don't go for sounds that are like very like sharp sounds and like very high frequencies. So everything is in the mid range into this range. Because like Drake's Marvin's Room like uses a pad and like a little tom. Just gives you like, it's like, as I'm saying, it's that it's, at the end of the day, it's all a vibe when it comes to sound selection. Like if you want to vibe, if you want to make a certain kind of sound, you have to find the right vibe to it. It starts with all the sounds that you use. You want to make something mellow, go for your pad, go for something that sounds very smooth and silky. Take something mid-range, not a lot of not too much highs, but it has to be in like the mids of that. If it gets a little bit high, you can always filter out some sounds, but it's like you better have a sound that's already catered to the vibe that you're wanting to try to like fix the sound. Or if you're more advanced, you can honestly just go and like create the sound you want by using synth tables and synthesizers, and actually like using Serum or Electra X or anything, or Atmosphere, anything that allows you to like make your own, use your own synth sound, and like actually mold, where you use the tag decay, state and release, ADSR, and like other filter presets to cut off the resonance. Essentially use all of that to craft the sound. About sound selection, I mean, at the end of the day, also, I mean, sound selection also comes down to like your chord progression or the notes. Well, not really too much the notes that you use, but like it kind of starts with the chord progression that you use. So certain chords evoke certain emotion. You're not gonna want to like, you want like a sad type, you're not gonna want a chord progression that goes up in pitch over the chord progression. You want a chord progression that kind of stays within the confines of it, of the chord progression, not like using too much high notes and too much low notes, like in the middle. Like, let me see if I can pull up an example of like maybe one of my MIDI kits. Let me just open up a piano real quick. I don't know. Something. I mean, it is mellow, but like maybe if I could find something that's more up in tune that makes sense. Nope, not this. No. No. Let me see if I can find something. No, no. See, if it's something like this, you see how like right here is we're literally in the mid region. This is really gonna get your like little mellow sound. I could change the chord progression, change the sound to a pad. So actually, I just probably just put a high pass or high cut and then like roll off of it. Essentially, I could probably just, you know, I mean, strum the thing and like turn on the velocity. Turn on the velocity and make it more like. Probably remove the low notes. It's probably doing too much. Low notes. Essentially, you can do that, and basically you'll have like, basically if you want to get the sound you want to is have it in a certain frequency. If you want something more like exciting, you probably go into like and use different saws. I'm just gonna go Electric X and find something that's like loud and like in your face. See, something you could probably not use it for like some Drake Marvin's room, but you could probably use it for like something more high tempo. Maybe I could probably speed tempo, throw in another MIDI, or try to throw in a better MIDI than that. This is not the sound, but let me just find some like keys. Maybe that thing's loud. Nope. I mean, you could do that, but like it's honestly up to you. Well, sound selection. I mean, if you learn to make beats over time, you'll get a grasp, sorry, of what kind of sounds you want and how to like make a certain kind of like beat you want to make. If you want to like make a like, if you want to go for something like more like Drake Marvin's room, you know you're probably gonna have to get a pad and like basically like sounds that are not very high in frequency. But if you want to do something like, maybe see who has like maybe like something for Lil Uzi, you gonna know you want to get like stuff that has like more high energy because he's more like a high energy kind of artist and stuff like that. And you want to use like more synthesizers than like natural sounding instruments. So anyways, that's my take on sound design. The basic takeaway of this honestly is that any sound can be used to make anything. But I mean, if you want to like any type of like a basis or where to start, if you want something that's mellow and not really mellow and very like soft and sad, you're gonna want to have sounds that really stick in within the mid-range of the EQ. I would tell you which is the numbers for it, but I would just say basically any 1,000, maybe, and nothing in the 20k hertz, maybe in like about 5,000 hertz and below, or maybe if you go mid, maybe 1,000 hertz and below. Anything about 5,000 up on the frequency spectrum is basically high frequencies, and that's going to be perceived to the listener as about higher energy. Is going to be high energy, and anything like lower frequency can be perceived as like something more mellow and not something in the face, like maybe like more of a sad song, more of like a calm sound that gives it like a different vibe. So anyways, at the end of the day, you gotta get some VSTs. If you don't have any VSTs, get a VST that you know you can learn how to sound design. But once you learn how to sound design, you don't have to look for sounds that you need. You can essentially say, hey, I want to make a pad that like does X, Y, and Z. Get you something like Serum or Electric X. Which one? Just go look at YouTube videos and look at reviews and see which one you like best. But if when you get up to a certain point and you want a certain sound that you hear on some of these big records, you want to get you like Omnisphere, Doom, Electric X, Arteria Collection, you want to get Trillion, you want to get Expand, you want to get Lounge Lizard, Serum, Contact, all these VSTs. Essentially, you don't need all of them, but it helps. It makes life much easier, because the more VSTs you have, the more like different variety you have to go find certain sounds. Because a lot of certain VSTs have certain sounds that they're known for. Atmosphere is known for like the mainstream sound. Doom is known for its like synths. Electric X knows for synths, especially from like 808 Mafia and other people using it. Arteria is known as like a vintage. Trillion, same thing. Span 2 is known as like the synth that the sounds that Drake used early on his days when 40 was using Expand. Lounge Lizard is essentially E pianos, real sounding instruments. Theremin is the big instrument for a lot of the EDM guys who make beats, and Contact is basically another GOAT in itself that has a whole bunch of instruments like live instrumentation, it has synths, it has like almost everything. It has other people make expansions for it. It's like something you get. Oh yeah, you gotta also get Nexus too. Even though people don't use Nexus now as they used to use it back in the day, it's still a GOAT and it still has a lot of sounds that you can use today for sound selection, because they have an easy and specific library to like easy to navigate and see what you could do. And let me see if I have missing anything on my list. Yeah, Ultra Analog VA2, you get the trophies VST to you by Michael Cox. Anything I'm missing? Pretty much that's it. And anything else you could find that you think would be helpful to your music production, get it. Who am I to tell you no on what you need? If you know what you need and you know what you want and you see a review and you really like it, you really believe in it, go and get it. Well, anyway, that's it for the tutorial. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you for watching the video. Follow us on Instagram at 80K Music. We're gonna start putting up like vlogs in the studio, more beat videos and stuff like that, behind the scenes stuff. Okay, and anything else we deem like hard to put up on the Instagram. Also follow me on my personal Instagram at Marcus Folds. I'm gonna start uploading more pictures and stuff like that. You don't have to follow me, you can just follow the 80K Music, but you know, if you want to follow me, like me, hey, let's do it, you know. And essentially, have a nice day, do what y'all gotta do, run to the money, try to get to the best place that you can possible, motivate yourself every day. All right, peace.